Red Zone in the Lab. Commanders. It's time. Let's get it, homie. Yo, what up? What's good? Welcome to another episode of Red Zone in the Lab podcast. I am Deuce, and we got some breaking news. Breaking news, finally. Finally. Oh my gosh. After what, 9, 10 defensive coordinator interviews? The Commanders have finally hired a defensive coordinator. A defensive coordinator from a successful program. With the Minnesota Vikings, and the most coveted person there was Brian Flores, which I believe we did have on an interview a couple weeks ago, but it ended up coming down to he's either was going to be a head coach or he was going to be defensive coordinator back over. He was going. That's where we are now. I think it's a good hire. Maybe. And good as in we didn't get anybody that's currently on the staff. That part makes it good. How good is the actual hire with the actual person? I don't know. I don't know enough about him. I know he was regarded very highly on the Viking staff. I do know that. Some consider him the right-hand man of Brian Flores, but that's usually what happens. You have these assistants, these passing game coordinators, defensive backs coach, everyone that's up for to be promoted, right? To enhance, to go deeper in the progression of their football coaching timeline, they're always the right hand of the actual person that everyone wants. You're actually right, the right hand of the person everybody wants. So in this case, everybody wanted Brian Flores. So if you can't get Brian Flores, what's next? When you can't get these big time coordinators, these highly coveted coordinators, what's next? Well, who is closest to them? Who is the person that's soaking up all of the information? Right? Who is being groomed? That's the person that you want. Right? I am so we I'm sure more interviews will come out, right? But we interviewed Joe Cullen, Brian Flores, Jonathan Gannon, Patrick Graham, Al Harris, Carl Scott, Denard Wilson, Terrell Austin, and now Daronte Jones. Another DMV uh, coach. He's from the DMV. I believe he's from Capitol Heights. Um, that's an extension of DC. You know DC, you know Capitol Heights. Is an extension of DC. Um, he was the Vikings defensive passing game coordinator. A lot of times when they get those type of, he was also the defensive backs coach, right? A lot of time when they get those passing game coordinator, run game coordinator titles, they have those titles because they don't want to be lost for nothing. Right? That means that the team really sees or really honors the value that you bring to the organization. Because if he didn't have any value, he'd just be a defensive backs coach, right? And anyone else can hire him to promote him to be passing game coordinator. But when these guys get these titles, they show that they are valued and they do have some sort of a future to look forward to as a coordinator, regardless of it's offense or if it's defense. Adam Schefter say he's one of the most trusted defensive coaches the past 3 seasons. One of Brian Flores' most trusted defensive coaches the past 3 seasons. And he also worked under Vance Joseph and Mike Zimmer. Those are some great defensive coordinators. Let's not focus on the head coach part. It doesn't matter right now. We're talking about defense, coordinating a defense, bringing in talent for a defense. These guys are one of the best. How much does that mean? What does that mean? When you are under someone, when you're a branch on somebody's tree, like I mean, this all season we even took it further than that by saying, oh, this player played under this coach. He played under this coach. Because he played under this coach, we're attaching the philosophy to him. And it could be true, right? It could be true, but we don't know, right? Um, when I think he was the last person for us to interview. Um, he had five other interviews with other teams to be a DC. Right now, keep in mind there were what 12, 13 maybe defensive coordinator jobs opening, right, including teams that fired their head coach and so forth, about 10, 12, something like that. And he had 5 interviews. So he was highly coveted. And I don't know, like, and it's a thing where we don't know about, and this is the thing about the Rooney Rule. We have to be careful about anytime a black coach is hired. Is that I do think there are cases where I'm just trying to satisfy this rule. I think that's true. I also think that this person is deserving of this. I believe that. And I also believe in giving someone an opportunity just to be in that room, just to be able to prep and prepare for these interviews with these different owners and GMs. Because it gives you experience and you can build from that experience. Like every interview you go to, you should have been able to learn something from the past interview. So I think like that's why we got to be so careful when we're talking about the Rooney Rule. Is that um, there are actually interviews that actually matter, right? Like they're actually interviewing them for opportunity to actually be their head coach, not just to um, uh, make sure that they um, satisfy the Rooney Rule, right? Um, what's up, Josh? This man about to make Amos a top 5 corner, and this is the thing that um, what's very important about this hire, and not just about this hire, but uh, for him taking, like, we have to commend him for taking on this because this is a peculiar situation, right? Because you have a head coach that his first year with a rookie quarterback went to an NFC Championship game, came back the next year, went 5-12, fired both of his coordinators in year 2, right? Him and the GM, they have a press conference where they all buddy buddy, lovey lovey, right? Everything seems good. Like if that was what they were trying to give off to any of the potential hires they wanted to bring in, I think they did a really good job doing that, right? They seem like they're right on it, like like Dan Quinn is not on the hot seat. He had, all that stuff. Like I think they really did really well with the end of the year presser. But when you see um, the Blau hire, how it was a panic hire, right? And I get it, I understand it. When you think about Mike McDaniel, you have to understand that they have a really tight relationship, like outside of football, him and Dan. So I'm sure Dan talked to him. Hey, look, um, I wouldn't mind being an OC. Really want to be a head coach. These are the jobs I really want. My wife, like I read something about where his wife is from California and she wanted to be there back home with her family. I think that might have something to do with it too. So when Blau is beginning to get interviews, the only one we heard about was the Lions, I think, from this cycle, not last year, because we know there were more. But more was probably coming in that we didn't hear about. Right. And if Dan know the guy that he really wasn't going to come here, then he kind of moved. Let's just get Blau. And then from the past, with this organization, even though it's not the same regime, we lost a whole lot of coaches that end up being great head coaches. He had some on his staff that end up being great head coaches. So he's like, hey, look, this is the guy. Right? Everyone is speaking highly of this guy. I've seen this before. I don't want to lose him. Right. And then you go on the defensive side and you have another conundrum where they're like fired head coaches. Like I've always thought that the highly coveted guys, the only ones that would take a chance to come here, may have been recently fired head coaches because they're like, hey, look, I can come here and do my DC thing, and I don't like it's not going to hurt me as much if this doesn't work out and they clean house next offseason. But someone that's fresh off the press, somebody that's fresh off the press might not want to take that chance, right? They might not want to take that chance. And that's the thing why I feared that we'll end up hiring somebody that's already on the staff or someone that nobody else wanted to make it look like, oh, we are geniuses. But I think when it comes to um, when it comes to um, Daronte Jones, remember, all y'all remember William Jackson, right? He's very from my understanding, right? Just I mean, and it's not, and I'm not, I don't know much about him, right? I'm just kind of glancing and looking over some things, reading a little bit. Of course, we want to have someone that's familiar with him to join the show this week. So I'm definitely going to be working on that to give us a better understanding of what he meant to that defense, what he meant to Brian Flores, right? Is this something? Is this going to how is this going to impact the Vikings, right? Because that's what I want to know. Losing him, how much does that impact you? Josh says he loves him. What's up, Mitch? Slim homegrown. We take those. John, what's up? John, and Twitter, I mean, YouTube changed the way that I see yours names because all I see is the at. So if whatever your name was at first, I don't know the at. So if this is some, I think it might be Josh, the other Josh. I mean John. So I'm not sure, but I like the hires. Let's get ahead of everyone else of trying to catch up with new ideas. Um, and all right, and these head coaching jobs gonna start filling up, filling up, filling up, and they're gonna start wanting to fill their coaching staff. So here we are, right? Here we are. And I think the good thing about it is that he's a defensive back coach, and I'm hearing a lot of high praise there, a lot of high praise there, and that's what we need. We need someone that can relate to our cornerbacks, right? Whoever that other guy is, what's his name, man? Let me see. He got to count. He need to count his days, right? Let me get his name. He need to count his days, right? Because he need to be up out of here. He need to be up out of here. Um, what's his name? Where's his name? Tommy Donatello, whatever his name is. Count your days, buddy. Um, so I think when it comes to Mikey and Amos, hopefully they bring Noah back. Even Quan Martin because I think he'll still be here. Uh, Tyler Owens, right? Like I think whatever they have in them, my hope from all the good things that I'm hearing, whatever they have, whatever talent that they have in them, that Tommy wasn't able to get out of them, my hope is that he's able to. That's my hope. That's my hope, right? Um, and hopefully he'll be able to do that because that defense is is not like an easy defense for DBs, right? Because he puts them in all types of mano y mano situations, all types of big man situations, all types of grown man situations. Like Flores puts them guys in those situations. So you got to be ready to ball out, right? You got to be ready to ball out, right? Yeah, right? Cover zero, the little zone sprinkled in, right? And these guys, they come from all different types of places, from all different angles. And you got to be willing to do that. Like these guys are active. Just because you're a cornerback, you're gonna be getting some of that good smack behind the line of scrimmage. You might gotta take on a tackle every now and then. You just don't know when your number is gonna be called, and you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. And a lot of times this type of defense, like you really need to be motivated. This comes with a lot of motivation when you run that type of defense. When you need these dudes to step into a big man, to step on these islands one-on-one, 2-3 yards off the ball in their face. You need like skill, yes, talent, yes, but motivation is important too. Like trust. And if you out there getting beat, I need to get you off the field. You're not ready yet. That's what this dude is. Right? Um, one of the things, I'm trying to get some info. So, um, he has experience coaching in the NFL, right? He's been coaching in the NFL 2016. He was LSU's defensive coordinator in 2021, joined the Vikings in 2022, working with the defensive backs. Um, he was named passing game coordinator a year later and remained in that role. So he's been a passing game coordinator since 23. Right? Um he's only called plays in college. I'm not I'm not, you know, I'm not too concerned about that because passing game coordinators are in the room. Right? Passing game coordinators have the headphones. Passing game coordinators give input, all of that good stuff. And the way people talk about him and him being involved with Flores, you know, who knows if he helps? Who knows how much he helps? Like, who knows how much of his input goes into the game plan? Like we heard about Blau, where this play and this play was Blau's imprint. Like, how do we know he doesn't have imprints into this defense? Right? And is he going to run Flores defense, or is he's going to have a mixture of Zimmer, a mixture of Joseph, a mixture of Marvin Lewis, because he even coached under Marvin Lewis in his early days, and we know about that defense. Not head coach, right? Talking about defensive coaches. Um, and during the presser, Adam Peters made it known that we need to get younger and faster. And one of the positions he was unprompted was defensive end, was edge rusher. I think we can't ignore that when we're talking about the draft. Now we have a defensive coordinator. Now here's where things get a little funny, right? Here's where things get funny. This defense requires physical, athletic tone setting linebackers. Physical and athletic. Speed. When we think about that, you think about Jordan McGee. That's what that defense, like what he's used to, even under Marvin Lewis and even under Zimmer, right? That athletic linebacker, that physical linebacker, right? That east to west, north to south, downhill linebacker that can cover, right? He prefers them taller, right? Uh, Quick twitching edge rushers. Now that I don't know how much input he's gonna have, right? He's just getting there, right? I mean, the sources say that he's going to be calling the defense, right? So I don't know how much input he'll have in the draft, but I'm sure he'll be like, hey, look, this is what I want. This is because he has to get going. You have to start now. Whenever you sign them papers, celebrate with your family, celebrate with your friends. Take a couple days, maybe go on a quick vacation because there's going to be time to lock in. Take the new money, Go on a vacation, take your wife and kids to Hawaii, Spain, wherever it is you want to go. And let them know when you get back, it's time to lock in. You might not see me as much. This is what's going to be required of you because you're behind the 8 ball. The other side has Jayden Daniels. You don't have any one of those on your side. You don't have any one of those on your side. You have no players on your side that has a star underneath them when they play. You have no X factor players on your side of the ball. So you gotta be ready to lock in. Gotta get your staff together, right? Gotta get your staff together. You gotta get in those meetings with Adam Peters and his folks. Hey, look, give me what you have, and I'm gonna tell you which one of these guys I prefer. Because this is what I need to run my defense. This is what I need to run my defense. And I don't need Bobby. He's not athletic anymore. And he's physical when he gets there. I need someone that's physical on the way there. Not just when they get there. I need you to be physical on the way there. And Bobby can't do that anymore. Right? Alignment is going to be very important for this Flores type defense because they kind of be all over the place. So you need guys that can play multiple positions, not in the sense of, what's that word? I forgot. Position flex. Not position flex. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about guys that can line up anywhere within the box and be successful. Your middle linebacker and your Sam should be able to line up beside each other just inside of the tackle box. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having 7 people across the line of scrimmage when only one person is standing up. We don't need original, I'm a Mike and that's all I am. I don't need you. This defense doesn't call for you. It doesn't call for, you're only this. We need jack of all trades. And this is where it gets, bro, Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs. Those are like Styles. Those are guys that can play multiple positions in the box. You could put Downs at middle. You could put him at edge rusher. You could put him at strong. You could put him at nickel. Arvell Reese, you could put him on the edge. This is going to be very interesting on how they approach free agency in this draft. Because Daronte, it's time to lock in, brother. It's time to lock in. So I don't know what this staff is going to look like, right? Because yeah, man, I love defense, bro. Tim, was that you on X? Check your notifications, right? Because I asked, is this is the Tim from YouTube? Let me know if that's you or not, because I think I found you on one of my posts. Let me know. Can y'all still hear me? Say I lost Mike. I think I got it back though. As someone who complains a lot, I have no complaints with this hire. He coached at my older siblings' alma mater, Bowie State. I thought he went to Morgan State.
I listened to audio of him at the Encore Bowl a few years. You have that? Where at? You have that, Tim? I would love to listen to that. I like his vibe. Dan Quinn and company said we got blind Flores at home. I like this. I do. I want to learn more about him. Um, but hey, this is it like because Dan Quinn has his stamp over the entire coaching staff, offense and defense. So a lot of those guys on defense is Dan Quinn guys, right? Like, I want Daronte to be? I don't want him to feel like the third cousin, like Cliff, right? I want him to have people in the building that he knows, that he trusts, that can help him implement this defense that he wants to run, right? I don't want him to have to teach all the coaches by himself. I'll bring a couple people over with him who he wants, not who you want, who he wants. I don't want nobody that can, oh yeah, I can do that. No, I want somebody that does that. I don't want nobody that can do that. I want somebody that does do that. I want a linebacker coach that does teach, that can't that does teach athletic linebackers. I want a pass rushing coach that does teach different techniques. I I need a cornerbacks coach that can tell Mikey to stop opening up to the inside on outside routes. That's what I need. Oh, he played at Morgan State. Oh, okay. He was the assistant coach and defensive coordinator at Boise State. Ah, I got it. 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 Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I mean, we got two first time coordinators. Two first time coordinators. Offense and defensive side. That's a lot of work, Quinn, bro. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. I I don't know what that's gonna look like. I don't know what that's gonna look like. You got two first time play callers. So he's definitely gonna have to be the CEO. So on the offensive side of the ball, you still got the Anthony Lynn, um, having these head coaching interviews. Um, that's all you heard about. You haven't heard about nothing else. Uh, because when it comes to him, we can block anything unless it's a head coaching job, right? Because he's assistant head coach, like that's right under head coach, so we can block everything. But I'm sure Dan, um, if Anthony wants to leave, then he'll let him leave because, you know, um, he also, um, no, I'm sorry, Brian Johnson. I'm thinking about something. Anthony Lynn is the run game coordinator. He's the run game coordinator. So he can leave for assistant head coach or head coach. So I don't see Dan blocking that if they want to leave. Brian Johnson is interesting because he went for the OC job. He didn't get it. Haven't heard anything about him interviewing anywhere. Not saying that is not happening because there are a lot of interviews happening that we don't know about, right? So at least you do have those twos on that side of the football if they do stay. But on the defensive side, I mean, you got Dan Quinn, but he don't really want to do it, right? I mean, you have other guys that coach defense, right? I mean, you got Ken Norton, but he's something like, hey, look, I'm just a linebacker coach. I ain't trying to do nothing else. You know what I mean? So I wonder who else they're going to bring in here if they bring someone over because um, he's defensive coordinator. So passing game coordinator, I believe, is open, right? Hold on, let me double check. Let me see. So Brian Johnson, assistant head coach, passing game. Um, Run game coordinators Anthony Lynn. Defensive pass game coordinators Jason Simmons. I forgot about this dude. I forgot all about this dude, Jason Simmons. I forgot all about him. So yeah, like that's what I'm saying. So like, what is this? What is this staff going to look like? Right? Like that's what's going to kind of probably fold out the next couple of days is what that's going to look like. And I'm interested to see what that looks like when it comes to him. Um, so it's definitely a lot to look for. Uh, so this is just interesting, man. I mean, he going into year 3. I mean, he one offensive his offensive coordinator, they agreed to part ways. The defensive coordinator he fired. Coming off 5-12 season, man, it's gonna be a lot of work for him. What's up, Unc? Yeah, PG County, man. PG County. I'm just learning about this guy, man. I mean, when it comes to defense, man, I mean, it seems like he's a teacher. Seems like he's a teacher, man. That's what we need. Cause I definitely want to see. Yeah, I definitely want to see what they do because what's the point, man? Like if you're not gonna let him hire his own staff, what's the point, man? But I don't know, man. Like Adam Peters gonna have a lot of work to do. He got a lot of work to do, bro. But it's a good thing we got our guy. It's a good thing he got this guy. I don't know what that's gonna look like, um, as far as staffing is concerned, but we got to make some moves. Right. So scrolling up. Somebody said, as a white man myself, I'm racist against white DB coaches. When I learned our new DC was a BSU Bulldog HBCU guy, I knew we had a great choice. That's what he has on his side, right? Um, I'm not really. I haven't. I haven't really looked on the app that much. Um, but people are telling me that people complaining. Are people complaining about the hire? Sheesh. And that's the thing. Like maybe, maybe, maybe Dan Quinn actually has a long leash. Like maybe he does have a long leash, bro. I mean, something's wrong with my thing, man. Maybe he has a long leash, bro. I mean, two first time coordinators. Like, what do you say to an OC? I mean, to a head coach if they're not successful? I guess the head coach knows. Like, look, man, if you're gonna go with two inexperienced guys, just know that's not gonna prevent you from being fired. You going to November under 500. I don't know what those conversations look like. I would love to be in a fly on the wall when you have those conversations with Dan Quinn, but man, what does that look like? And shout out to well, Blau was already here, but shout out to Daronte because think about it, bro. Like he's taking a chance. This could go horribly wrong. The defense could be horrible, and he end up just being a defensive backs coach next year. Or it can go incredibly right. I'm trying to see some notable players um, that he coached. Oh man. Oh, he was in Miami. I didn't know that. Oh, he's with the Bengals. Oh, you know that wasn't good. Well, at least we know he's been in positions to lead men, right? Like y'all just told me about Bowie State, assistant head coach there, defensive coordinator at LSU. So you could tell like he understands the culture. He understands the young NFL, and that's what we need. But and he's been a teacher as we've seen. Um, but now can he be the top guy? Because now he's not going to be the one. He's going to be the one that everyone comes to, right? He does is not Flores. Like you're the guy now. You're the top guy on defense right now. So everything is going to come through you. Everything's going to come to you. When somebody makes a mistake, it's going to be on you. When somebody makes a great play, it's going to be on you. It's all going to come down on you. Are you able to handle that on an NFL level? Right? And this is the thing where and everyone needs a starting point, right? Everyone has to start somewhere, right? You can't be a play caller without first being a play caller. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? So, but the thing is that Dan Quinn is having those on both sides of the ball, which I think is very rare. But I will say, it's really going to be something to watch unfold how these guys approach um, these coordinator jobs, right? Because with Blau, he's only been coaching, period, 2 years, right? Like I've coached more than him. I mean, it's Pop Warner, right? But I'm sure these 2 years in the NFL still gives him way more experience than I had coaching Pop Warner in middle school football. But still, right? I still had to conduct meetings and do all those different types of things, being the top guy in the building. So now that's going to be on you. You're going to have to do that. Now, how do you do that? Right? Do you follow the same pattern as Flores, as Cliff, or do you follow the pattern of some of those other coaches that you came in under? Or do you take all of them and make it yours and merge them? Or do you do something totally different? Whatever you do, you're going to have to be confident in it. Right? Because being a first time play caller, you're going to be challenged. You're going to be questioned. Because there's people on that staff that's going to be under you that has success as a player and as a coach that you're going to be leading. There are probably people on that staff that also interview for the job that you have. And we don't know for sure about defense, but for offense, we know for a fact at least 2 people that's still on that staff right now interview for the OC job. And that's the tight ends coach and Brian Johnson. And Brian Johnson is the assistant head coach. So we don't know how all this is going to play out. But he's young. Right? He's motivated. Right, for the last 2 seasons, we ain't got no innovation, this and that. But now, look what you got. Look what you have. A young, innovative, motivator, teacher, culture guy. Someone that understands the game, understands how to apply the game to these young folk. That's what you got. And you should be excited about it. You should be excited about it. A whole lot of stuff been going on, man. Well, not really a whole lot of stuff, right? I mean, you got the whole Payne thing. And that's interesting about Payne, what they're going to do with Payne. Ben Static said he heard from somebody that, the Commanders, Daron Payne, already had discussions and that he's going to play out his contract this year. The only thing, like, I didn't want to move off from Daron Payne. No, he's not giving you what he's going to count against the cap with $28 million production. He's not giving you that. Well, last year was probably slightly lower than that, but he didn't give you that. He didn't give you $20 million production. He didn't give you $15 million production, right? So $28 million production is absolutely elite, right? I mean, his last contract year, he exploded, right? So maybe he does that this upcoming year on a contract year, right? But I think I was just surprised that they're willing to go into the season with him on $28 million cap. That's taking up a lot of our cap space. And I thought that they would not so much extend them, but convert some of that money into bonus to lower the cap. But that's also a cash issue, right? It's Josh trying to do that. And they probably have to see what everything else looks like. So I think if they do anything with him, it might not come until after the first couple of waves of free agency to see where they are. I think they got to get Tunsil done, and they should get Tunsil done by the end of this week. Yeah, this Super Bowl week, right? Yeah, it's media row. Yeah, that's right. That's this week, right? So hopefully they get something done, right? This is the time where everybody is in one place, right? GM, scouts, agents, players, everybody is in one place, right? So hopefully they have some of those meetings. You might see some big deals. Who knows? The Lattimore situation is interesting. I don't know. I have to find out how injuries, because he has an ACL. He's not going to be ready, right? So I wonder if they have to agree to a settlement or of some sort with this contract, or they just flat out release him. I'm not sure how that works. I know. I think he gets like 2 million and a workout or a roster bonus or something like that. I don't know what date that is. I don't know if it's league year, a couple of days after league year. I don't know when that is. Um, but that's 18 million, right? So already you got 28 million from Payne. You got 18 million from um from Lattimore. That's a lot of money. That's $46 million to the cap. With one guy that's not going to be here or not going to contribute in any way, and then the other guy that's not worth $28 million. So he's not giving you $28 million production. So that's I don't know how they're going to do that. We never know how they're going to do anything, right? Um, but I am excited about this off season because we have a quarterback, right? And I'm even I think I don't know why, right? But I'm even more excited this year than off season than last year because off season I was really like lackadaisical, right? Like I was like, you know what? We're going back to the playoffs, right? We might not had a better record, but we're gonna be a better team, and we're gonna rock and roll, right? We bring back Wagner. He won us a game, got a big fumble recover, like all of that stuff. But I'm like, no, not this year. No, 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 no. I'm not doing no what ifs. I'm going based off what you gave me when you were on the field. And we had a lot of injuries. And all right, cool, I get it. Right? You get a few points for that. But when you were on the field, what did you give me? You being missed, what did you give me? Right? When you went down, when you were injured, how much did the offense change or how much did the defense change? How important were you really? Was there someone else that just stepped right in? Did the offense still look smooth? Because I know one person, Terry went out there and the offense looked horrible when he wasn't. Simple as that. No questions asked. But who else? Eckler, maybe? Who on the defensive side? I mean, even when you talk about Armstrong was out there. Wow. Before he got hurt. I tell you, when he did get hurt out, we didn't get no pressures. Tell you that. That's one thing that changed. We didn't get no pressures. Dorrance left. He was averaging like like 5, 6 pressures. We think we probably got that as a whole team when he went out. So I don't know. I'm excited. What's up, Teddy? I don't know, man. I think Al Hurst is gonna have. I think he'll have an opportunity to coach at one of these other jobs that gives him more. Um, a new situation that'll give him 2, 3 years to be able to work through the kinks. Cause like believe that we are a desirable destination for coaches, but when you have coaches, when you got a head coach that you're just not sure about, not sure. I mean, like I said, the press conference was one thing, but what they saying in those meetings are another. You never know. They straight out ask Adam, "Hey, look, if we come out win 6 games next year, like, what's the likelihood that I'll be here? What's the likelihood that this whole coaching staff won't be fired?" I'm sure those are real questions, especially for the top candidates. And if Adam was like, that's something we haven't discussed, right? Like if that's something we haven't discussed, that means that y'all don't want to discuss. But that's absolutely something that you should discuss. So if they telling me that as a young guy, as a young pup that's ready to stretch my wings out, I'm not doing that here. I'm not doing that here. This is too much pressure. There's a lot of pressure in DC to win this upcoming year, whether you want to believe it or not. David Blau has a lot of pressure to perform. There's a lot of pressure. I just hope that Adam Peters gives them the tools, the talent that they need to perform. That's what I hope. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's what I hope. No Raheem Morris. I'm so glad about that. Oh, I'm so glad. So glad. Um, I think they wanted to do something before Super Bowl week. I think we're gonna see more hires the next couple days. I think everything's gonna start falling into place. Right, there are only two teams left, and I think both of them have somebody on the defense that other teams are looking for. Um, but outside of that, man, we should be locking up these coaching hires. But for us, I'm excited because um, I'm ready to get into the off season next week and get into it, man. Right after Super Bowl, get into it heavy. Get into it heavy. I can't wait. Now that we got a D coordinator, and I'm taking Flores. I'm going to look at Zimmer, right? I'm going to look at Marvin Lewis, some of the things that they did, Vance Joseph, but most recently Flores. I'm going to look at it, and that's what I'm going to base this defense off of. It may not be what they actually run, but this is all we have. They're not going to probably ain't going to tell us during the press conference if they have a press conference. I don't know, but we'll find out for sure. I'm looking to get in some uh, a beat reporter from over there in Minnesota to come and give us a little bit more on what he meant. Like I say, I want someone that they're going to miss. Right, I want it to be a hole in the Vikings defense, and I that's the question that I have: is there a hole now that he's not there? Not that the position is not filled, but there's a hole. Like when Witt left, we found there was no hole. He just gone, right? He's just gone. But um, and I want to learn about the guys that he helped, that he specifically helped, because it's gonna be big. Our secondary, our cornerbacks need help, man. They need help, bro. And I'm looking forward to that. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Um, like I said, I'm excited because it's not someone that's already on the staff, right? Like Ken Norton, Ryan Kerrigan. Then we got to hear about how Ryan Kerrigan was known as the next big thing on defense, right? All these rave reviews and everyone loved him and everyone see him as the next bright mind. Like, no, he's a pass rush specialist. Don't do that. Don't do that. Right? So that's that's what I'm glad about. That's why I like this hire. And it wasn't Raheem Morris. I'm glad about that. Um, it wasn't some any old body, right? It wasn't someone that's under Dan's tree, you would say, or some sort of disciple of Dan. I'm glad that's not the case. But I also don't want him feeling like a third cousin. allow the man to build his coaching staff. And that's another thing. Like his coaching staff, it will he be able to build his coaching staff? Like would those coaches take a chance to leave their families or to move their families to come here for a job that might not be there next year? There's a lot of pressure on this team. There's a lot of pressure on Dan Quinn to win. And if he doesn't bring any coaches who he can't, that's probably the reason why. Right? Like I'm on the Viking staff. Flores is there. Right? I don't know any other teams other than the Steelers or the Ravens that'll touch Brian Flores as a head coach. So he might be with the Vikings a little while. I don't know what that deal is that they worked out. It's 3 years, 4 years. Like I don't know what that is. I know it's a pretty good grip. Right? So if you're on that staff, why would you leave to go somewhere where, you might not last more than a year? Why would you take that chance? So it's going to be interesting, man. I just hope he's able to pick the players, have input on the players that's selected. Okay, I got some with Ari. He got an interview with him. I'm gonna listen to this. I'm gonna have to go listen to this with him. All right, man. Let me get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for coming through for this breaking news. I will see y'all again. Hopefully sometime this week. I'm gonna try to get a beat reporter in here if we have any more breaking news. But if not, I'll see y'all in a couple weeks after the Super Bowl. We about to really, really lock in. Like I told Daronte, hey, take this money, take your wife to Hawaii, Paris, wherever it is you and your family, your kids want to go. Because tell them, when you get back, it's time to lock in. It's time to lock in. You're already behind an 8 ball. You don't know nobody here. Right? You ain't got nowhere to stay. You ain't got nowhere to live. You ain't got none of that. It's time to lock in. You need to be at that facility. Right? You got to meet with these scouts. See these players that they got profiles on. Right? Had the people before you give your key or when you turn in your badge in Minnesota, get files on their players that they have for Brian Flores defense. Get a copy of those profiles. Stand tall, brother. Tell AP, listen, this is what I need for this defense to be successful. These are the players that I need. In free agency, this is the guy that I need. And who's on this team now? We don't need him anymore. Nah, man. Bobby's a little older. We don't need him anymore. It's time to lock in. So I appreciate all y'all, man, and I hope y'all stick around, y'all lock in with me after the draft, because it's gonna be a heck of an off season, man. From that week of February, I know I got a couple of vacations. Even when I'm going on vacation a couple times in the next couple of months, I'm gonna have some videos I'm just gonna throw up. I mean, locking in, man. I'm locking in all the way through OTAs. Take a break before training camp. But February, March, April, May, I think that first week of June, something like that, OTAs, we locking in, man. This is a very important off season. This is probably our most important off season. I mean, when the last time we had an off season with the same quarterback? with no controversy. Even though like Taylor Heineke played a couple like week one, because I think Fitzpatrick got hurt or something in that play. I forgot. I forgot all that looks. But when is the last time, man, that we had a quarterback back in back to back off seasons with no drama, like no issues? Like this is going to be our quarterback. Even the Kirk Cousins years, we wasn't sure because of the whole franchise tag. So he wasn't even sure about that. Matter of fact, my goodness, have we ever had that? I mean, oh wait, where Unc at? Have we ever had an off season where it's the same quarterback with no controversy, with no questions about it? Have we ever? I'm even thinking like a couple of the Super Bowls wasn't even a starting quarterback that won them, right? Dwayne Haskins had drama. Jason Campbell had drama. Steve Spurrier and all his quarterbacks. The Patrick Ramsey years. The John Beck years. Oh, the Carson Wentz years. I don't think we've ever had. This is insane. This is insane. This is insane, man. This is insane. Well, this is the new era, right? So we have a quarterback in this off season. I'm excited about it. It's gonna be time to lock in. Um, and put out some good content, man. So stick around, hang in with your boy. Appreciate your time. I know it's very valuable for you to spend it with us. We absolutely appreciate it. Remember, hey Tim, let me know if that's you on X, man. I think that's you. Got the same name, man. I don't know if I can do too much of Tim, man. I'm joking, man. But I think that is you on X, man. Let me know. Um, and that interview that you said you had, Tim. Yeah, if that is you on X, like try to send that to me, bro. Or look on my profile on YouTube, my email, and send it over. I would love to listen to it. Oh, he must have. Oh, you did? I ain't see that yet, bro. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, man. Um, oh, he said he dropped the link in here twice. Hold up. Man, I don't see it in here. Man, I don't see it in here. Oh yeah, it's not coming up if you did. It's not showing on my end. Hold, let me go on YouTube real quick. Hold up. Let me sign into YouTube real quick. Maybe it's in there. I don't see it on either. But I think I got it. I'll catch you on X. Just look out for it. All right, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.